5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This is the Culture Clash.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of Culture Clash Live here on the Fandom Podcast Network YouTube channel. We've got a very interesting show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about a film that a lot of people are giving some positive reviews about. We got a special inside look for you. We are talking about Primitive War. If I'm going to be talking about this film, I need to turn on my collider because I need to pull some people from different time periods to help me with this podcast. And of course, the first person who walks out is, of course, my brother from another mother and the co-founder of the Fandom Podcast Network, the one and only Mr. Kevin Reitzel.
The collider knows exactly where to find me, dude. I'm stuck in the 80s, so it had to bring me from the 80s.
It's wherever physical media is, we will find a Reitzel.
I did want to mention I'm wearing my Primitive War t-shirt right here, courtesy of one of our guests. Check it out the back here. Pretty cool. Look at that.
Very nice. Very nice. It won't prevent you from getting eaten on this podcast. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. So with us, who is also a family member here on the Fandom Podcast Network, the host of the Lethal Mullet himself, we got to bring in Mr. Adam O'Brien here. What's going on, buddy?
G'day, mate. How you going? I tell you what, it is a nice spring morning out here in Australia, and great to be on.
Yeah, and you know what, too? I had to showcase this picture here when we last hung out there in the Gold Coast. There, look at that. Yeah, fun there.
Wait. I do have a quick question for Adam. There are some rumors that certain extras were left behind because they filmed Primitive War down in Australia. You haven't seen any raptors or T-Rexes roaming around, have you?
There's always some fluffy tails because there's one thing that Luke Sparke got amazingly right that Jurassic Park didn't. They got feathers.
There you go. Well, we like to hang out with other guys, specifically here whenever I visit in Australia. We got to welcome, of course, our good friend from Brisbane there. I got to hang out and roll all over and do his Star Wars posters. It was great. Let's welcome Mr. Jersey Boy himself, Blair. What's up, Blair? How are you?
It's Primitive War time.
Primitive War time. Yeah.
How are you guys? Great to be here.
You were showing me your posters, including that really cool, hard to find Star Wars poster there. So that was cool.
Yeah. Did a review, didn't we, one night and went through them all?
All right, guys. We want to let you all know that we were expecting Mr. Luke Sparke to join us this time, the director of this film, but unfortunately, he's been real busy. Flying around the world promoting this movie, Primitive War. We're very proud of him, but his flight got delayed and he had to be rerouted through Melbourne, which is where my wife is right now. So he will not be with us for this show. So we're going to give our reaction to this movie, which we all really enjoyed. But we're going to reschedule a Luke on for the next episode soon, and we'll let you guys know when it happens. And we want to give Luke our best. Make sure he gets home okay. And you've been watching all of his promotional stuff, Blair, more than anyone. He's been a busy boy.
Oh yeah, he hasn't stopped. I don't know where he gets the energy actually. But, running on coffee and good intentions, I think.
Yeah, there's Luke there, and he's got some pictures of him doing the promotional tour, hanging out with you at the red carpet recently.
Premiere, yeah.
Well. What was it at the end of Primitive War on the Fathom events? There's a great little 5-minute or so behind the scenes, and I think it was Tricia Helfer who said, "Yeah, he only wore like 13 or 14 different hats during the filming of this movie. He wasn't that busy."
That's it. I mean, I spent a little bit of time one afternoon in the edit suite with him, and he was saying then, he said the end credits are just going to be ridiculous because it's like me, and me.
When you want it done right, do it yourself. And Blair, you were an extra in this film. We're going to get more of your stories on that a little bit later. But Kyle, what do we got coming up?
Oh, we've got a lot of things coming up around here. Of course, we are talking about Primitive War here. Kevin, too, we'll talk about some of the other movies that Luke did here real quick as well, because I think the audience should know what else they should check out before Luke returns with us, because he did these great films you told me about. Occupation.
Yeah, Blair. We have these two films. He did a sequel. We have Occupation and Occupation Rainfall. They're actually both playing on Tubi right now.
Yeah,
we're Luke Sparke's earlier stuff. So yeah, your thoughts on these?
well, they're basically. I think the idea was like Australian Star Wars, and if you're lucky enough, you got the Blu-ray, and there's the Blu-ray of both of them. So there you go. They are available on physical media, so that's a good thing. But no, they're a very, very interesting and fun watch. I think that was the general idea behind it. It's basically like an Australian epic sci-fi Star Wars, an alien invasion tale, Independence Day, everything all mixed in together. And there again, they're movies that you can watch and just see the germination, I suppose, of Luke's just brilliance of being able to take something imaginative and small and whatever and just make it seem like it's just next level.
I'm noticing a trend in his style that I really respect, and I was watching Occupation today, that you really get invested with the characters, several different characters at once. So when something happens to them, you miss them. And one thing I wanted to mention is these two other films he has here is Bring Him to Me and his other one called Scurry. Now, you did a little behind the scenes work on Bring Him to Me, and also you hooked me up with a DVD copy. And you got a Blu-ray copy, right?
Yeah, the Blu-ray here. It's a German import actually, because we only got the DVD here in Australia, and I wanted it in the best physical and quality available.
Bring Him to Me is like is kind of a gangster type of film, I guess you could say. A really good drama starring Barry Pepper, Rachel Griffiths, and Sam Neill. Yeah,
it's a much smaller movie than the other, but no less ambitious. And I was on set for that one for quite a few nights. Most of the movie set at night, so there were some long nights. Got to hang with Sam Neill, and he's a wonderful, lovely man. And Barry Pepper and those guys. And it was just a fun time. And I could see just at the time, just from looking at the dailies and what was being shot, and with how the cinematography, the lighting, and that was used, that it was really going to belie its budget. Right. I mean, the movie itself looks like it cost $20 million.
Yeah, it's a good production. But we wanted to let people know of his other works, and now it's time to talk some Primitive War here. Kyle, take it over here. What do we got?
Oh, we have got to talk about Primitive War. But before that too, I just want to prove we have seen it around here, Mr. Reitzel.
That is at my local theater in Camarillo, California. I had to drive an hour to this screening, and I was proud to do it. So yeah, I went and saw it there. Really good theater. It was awesome.
And of course, Primitive War, based off of a novel series, which Mr. Mullet, I believe you know a little thing or two about these novels.
Certainly do. So I picked up Ethan's first novel, so Opiate Undertow, a couple of days ago now, and I've read probably about half of it now. It's very similar to the film. Obviously, Luke's done a great distillation of the book itself. But if you're into that sort of period of the late 60s, Tet Offensive, all that sort of stuff that was in, obviously, Vietnam, and obviously a little bit of, I personally think, X-Files sort of mystery, like trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we won't talk too much about those sort of spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet. But, yeah, it's pretty much a great thing. The great thing that this does, like Luke does with the storytelling, is the character build-up of all of the people, whether it be Jericho or obviously Ryan and the team of Vulture Squad. You really get invested in the characters in the novel. And when it goes down, I won't say what, but when things go down, it is, I think it's just as fun as the movie. I think Ethan's novel has made me want to already get the other three. It's a 4-book series. Then there's some dispatches as well I've seen on Amazon. So I tell you what, if Luke is looking to do a sequel, there's a lot of material here.
That's great.
We're going to make things a little bit easier for everybody going forward because, guys, spoiler alert, at this point, we're going to be talking about some behind the scenes things and our thoughts on Primitive War. So if you haven't gone seen it yet, you can go check it out, come back. But guys, that is right. We are in official spoiler zones at this point. And we've all seen the movie. Obviously, we've all loved the movie. The screening I went to, I was actually sold out, and it was great to see that.
That's cool to hear, because I went to the first screening and there was like maybe only 6 people in there. But keep in mind, it was the first early showing in the afternoon, so that's good to hear.
And you know what? It's done so well. And while you're here, Blair, congratulations, because you're part of this film. I know it's got an extended U.S. run because
yes.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And I spotted him in the movie too. You know, I saw him around the characters. He goes, "Yes, get your soldiers ready, comrade."
Well, what we want to do here, because we only have the Lethal Mullet here with us for a short amount of time, so there's some important things with the Mullet we want to get involved in, because this film was shot in Australia, and Mr. Mullet knows his way around Australia because he lives there, as does Blair. Kevin lives there part-time now, but Adam, we had an interesting conversation off mic the other day. You got some questions about filming locations I think you would like to check in with Mr. Blair about.
Well, here's the one. First, before we get into that, let's give you a little bit for those that don't know the area. Obviously, Blair and I live in Queensland, which is on the southeast coast of Australia. And, it's been multiple great productions here, raising right back to, of course, the 80s. We've got films like in 1990, we had Fortress with Christophe Lambert here shot. Even used the big old red bridge that linked Logan City and the Gold Coast together. So that gives you a little bit of a rough idea where things are. Before those, yeah, you have. And he's just been also to the pie shop around the corner at Yatla, which was fantastic.
Yeah, remember.
Yeah.
Yatani, what was it called?
Yatla.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Was there
Don't
only
go past
recently
it,
on the way to work?
Yeah.
You have to have a pie, yeah. So obviously it's a great films, and they were obviously the Phantom shot in and around that area. Used the local studios there, but used a lot of Mount Tambourine, which we're about to talk about. Street Fighter used some of those locations, as well as Thor Ragnarok. Actually, I have a good friend that was on that production as an extra. And again, the versatility of Mount Tambourine itself, which is just behind me where I live, literally about 2 blocks away, is this great location which can double for anything when it comes to Kokoda, which was a World War II film shot here. Used the big heavy bush that's in there. It does look like the jungle. Obviously, Vietnam with the Battle of Long Tan with Danger Close, which, of course, our good mate Travis was in, star, of course, of Dune Prophecy. And, of course, this fantastic production, which Luke has used this vegetation as a real look of that heavy Vietnam jungle, no doubt. But one of the great things about this has a history with the Australian Army as well, because my stepfather used this when he was training for going to Vietnam himself. He was in the cavalry. And this was, of course, the Jungle Training Center back in the 60s. This is where everyone from World War II on learned guerrilla tactics in the Australian Army and used that bush, which I could tell you has no straight paths. Everything's like this, literally. But yeah, Blair, let us know a little bit about what happened on the location and some of those areas that obviously Luke's used so well.
Well, I was did a day in Tambourine actually, and they had the beginning of the film when the Vulture squad come in, and you have all the Marines walking through the little village, the Vietnamese village. That whole sequence there I was there the day that they filmed all of that, and it was just an amazing experience. I actually played I haven't seen me in the film in this scene, but I actually played a colonel in the army. Like a soldier, I suppose, in the army, and I was walking around with all the other guys with our machine guns and walking up over. You actually see a scene of the guys walking up over the bridge and stuff. I was one of those guys walking up over the bridge, but I think they cut it before I actually got to the bridge, so that was fun. There's me later on in the movie. But it was a whole lot of fun. But what was incredible was the attention to detail. I mean, I rocked up on set and I saw Luke straight away, and And he said, "Oh, have you been down to the set yet?" I said, "No, I'm going to go check it out." So they went, and I went down by myself while they were still setting up the stuff. And I was just walking through there going, "Oh my gosh, what they've accomplished here with the set. It's like a real Vietnamese village. We had army tanks, we had helicopters, the whole thing going on." And it was really creepy, eerie, actually, because when we were actually filming, I was walking with the soldiers through, and they had all the smoke going and everything, and you couldn't see the cameras. You knew they were filming, they were going to sit. And I got out of my body a little bit there because I actually felt like I was there. I was in Vietnam. I'm in the full kit with the backpack, machine gun, the whole thing, walking through. And yeah, there's like, dead VC on the ground. And it was really, really immersive. And it was just, even though my part probably didn't end up in the actual film, it was just a brilliant experience to feel that, It was just great. But yeah, it was just attention to detail. It's just mad,
The atmosphere itself, when you look at what obviously has been put on film, really, I think, goes right up there with, there's elements of Apocalypse Now in this, particularly with the boat sequences that we see a little bit later. Then there's, even stuff as good as Hamburger Hill, if you want my opinion. I think it's really well put together. But the thing that surprised me too is, the level of detail from the military background. And a lot of that's seeing it from, this is an American team. This is not Australian. But one of the great things about local suppliers, things like Gold Coast War Museum, they have a lot of the American equipment too. Like even if you're doing a World War II production, they have those sorts of things. And it's great to see those coming together for productions like this on the Gold Coast. Just shows we can really put on a show, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. Luke's family for years has been involved in military displays and costuming and stuff like that. And that's how he started in the industry. And he'll tell you himself, he worked on the Pacific and shows like that and built his way through there. And their attention to detail is just spectacular. You look around, everything's got to be absolutely precise, so no one can watch it. Majority of people watch it and go, "Oh yeah, they're soldiers, they're doing this." But as you know, you do get the people who will be like, "Hey, listen, that lapel shouldn't be, that way," or he's holding the gun slightly wrong, or they are that into the detail that you can't pick any holes in it. And it was just incredible to be around and incredible to watch. Yeah, he's got a fantastic team behind him for just everything like that.
If you could just share a quick story of how you met Luke, that would be nice to know. Okay. And then we'll get into our experiences seeing the film.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's actually a funny couple of stories there. As a big Star Wars fan, as we all are, big Star Wars fans, and I started a Facebook page called Rebel Rousers back in 2019. And anyway, about 2021, one day I just got a message from this Luke Sparke guy, and he wanted to know if I had the contact details for the artist Hugh Fleming. Now, if anybody in Star Wars knows Hugh Fleming, he's just one of the Star Wars artists, been doing it for years. I've known Hugh since, we were in our teens, basically. So he was a friend. So anyway, Luke contacted me and asked me, did I have a contact details for Hugh? And I thought, oh, okay, so I gave him the thing, and we just started conversing since then. And that was for Occupation Rainfall, because he wanted Hugh to do one of the posters for the film. So that's how that started. And, we just sort of chat every now and again, and things happen like that. But what was really funny was back in 2015, and actually this is one of the first times I met Adam, was at the Force Awakens toy sale at Toys R Us, right? And
Adam, you remember this, right?
Yeah. I sure do. That was awesome.
I was filming B-roll for Adam Harris's My Saga documentary, which was our podcast we had there as well. And so what I did, I went out and I interviewed everybody outside waiting to go in, to what were they expecting, what toys did they want, all that sort of stuff. And about 2 years ago, I was revisiting some of that old footage that we used. And here it is. I interviewed Luke in the line about what toys he was looking forward to. And, a much younger Luke, what he was looking for. And he actually, in the interview, he told me, he's just finished his first movie and stuff like that. And I'm probably thinking, he's done like a fan film or something like that. But it turned out the movie he was talking about was Red Billabong, which is that one, which is a his first sort of a big screen movie, which was combined Aboriginal legend and that with like a monster type sort of film, which was quite interesting. So so it was just funny because at the time, until I watched the video again, didn't figure, oh my gosh, that's Luke.
That's awesome.
Funny story. Anyway.
Adam, let's start with you here. I wanted to get your first thoughts on the film, how you saw it, and give me your thoughts on Primitive War. What are you feeling?
Okay, so I went and saw this film at Reading Cinemas, which is down at Harbour Town on the Gold Coast. So one of our little retail shopping outlet areas where it's got all of the great areas. But it's a fantastic cinema, so shout out to all the people down there. Went and saw one of the matinee ones, so basically about midday. And I tell you what, folks, I was sucked in from the first opening sequence where we see, obviously, a team go down to what we don't know because it's all shadowy at the time. But it's got that horror aspect of a team just getting absolutely butchered. Kind of like Dog Soldiers. This is one of the, which is obviously 20 years ago. I have that same sort of feeling where it's an outside element to what is usually a war movie. So this would be normally a Vietnam film. But we then are going to kind of like Predator, this search and rescue team, which I do believe is there's hints of Predator in there as an influence, I think,
totally.
with this team.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And then we meet, obviously, Jericho is just like the general from Predator. Jeremy Piven, obviously knocking it out of the park here. Nice work, Baker. I love it. It's fantastic. I heard you got two. Anyway, but Ryan Kwanten, who we know out here in Australian TV, it was interesting to see him a little bit older and actually with a meaty role, not just what was it? Home and Away he did? I can't even remember now. But anyway,
he's famous for True Blood here in the States. That's how he made
right. Yeah. Because usually a lot of those shows that we do here in Australia, we just flick out to the, international circles like Foster's, pretty much.
Well, I wanted to ask you before, because now you got to go in a little while, but one thing I noticed, and you guys can answer after Adam, is that it seems like Luke has done a love letter to the movies and genres that mean a lot to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick out, like, obviously the obvious with the dinosaur stuff and the Vietnam stuff, but you can also talk about the character development, the way the teams work together. Yes, Predator had a feel to it. I felt an Aliens vibe when it came to some of the characters and not being quite ready for everything and then putting their life on the line. There's a lot of wonderful carnage in this film. It's wonderfully rated R for a reason. What do you think about that, Adam?
Look, I think the best thing about this, regardless of the filming and stuff like that, what he's done is really good storytelling, which is he's taken what was, a pretty fun novel, but he's realized, okay, I've only got, 2 hours and 5 minutes to tell this tale. I need to be invested in these characters so that when they go down, you feel it. And that's what I really feel is the opening of this film is really strong. We get to know everyone, even the background characters like Keys, which is Anthony and Gruber, and quite funny characters too, by the way, like the new guy. Oh, shut up, new guy. I mean, that's great because we're invested in this new guy. We're kind of seeing it through his eyes. And actually, by the end of it, you realize you are that guy because you're watching it through his vision, which is a great way of storytelling. As a novelist myself, that's how I tell stories. So I think it's really interesting that we're seeing it through that. But at the same time, there's all those callbacks as we see from other films. Apocalypse Now, definitely. Even Tour of Duty, to a certain extent, from TV.
Yeah, that came to my mind too, Adam.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's gory, but it's not overly gory. But now here's the other part too, is that sort of stereotypical bad guy that's really played well in this, which is, of course, not just the Vietnamese soldiers of these, the Viet Cong, but the Russians. And they are done very well. And it's got that very James Bond type. Yes, Mr. Bond. And it's, let's say, the lead villain in this is really well with his, of course, collider. Now, I love that idea. And to me, when I first saw it, the story of it, and it kind of goes into the novel as well with it, the collider to me is like it's opened a portal to the prehistoric age and they've just walked through. In some ways, that's just
I'll tell you right now,
great storytelling.
When Blair spoiled that for me when I was visiting last time in Australia with him, that was like the best spoiler he could have done. When he says, "Dude, there's time travel," and I'm like, "You got my attention."
I think you asked, how did the dinosaurs get there?
Yeah.
my biggest problem though was how did they fit into the hot tub time machine? I'm still trying to figure that out.
And technically, Indiana Jones is in this movie. Technically, so
I know who you're talking about, Anthony Gruber.
Oh yes.
Which, funnily enough, I don't know if I saw him the other day, but I saw somebody that looked exactly like him down at our local shop.
What Adam is referring to is that Anthony was in line to possibly play Harrison Ford in I think either in Solo and then possibly maybe even rumors about a young Indiana Jones. But
he doubled him in the last movie. He actually was the double for the young sequence, and they face replaced him.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
And he did play young Harrison's in Age of Adeline.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah. Adam, I wanted you to just mention what were some of your cast standouts for you. We had Ryan, obviously, as Ryan Baker. Tricia
Helfer. Tricia is playing something that I haven't seen her play in a lot of the stuff she's done. She's always playing very strong female leads, obviously as a Cylon, as Six in Battlestar Galactica, but even in other material. This is different. This is, somebody that's gone through some trouble as a scientist. Obviously, she's trying to, in some ways, let the world know and save the world. But at the same time, she's trying to deal with what she's seen, what she's done, and she's also, an action star at the end of it too. So she's kind of got a bit of everything, and she's got a real path that she plays in this. She's always been interesting, but I think her with Ryan in particular, her scenes and some of the silhouettes, if you look at some of the camera work that Luke's done, it's very Ridley Scott, as he's obviously lit the background and let the shadows of the characters really play up, and it builds up the atmosphere of the actual heightened reality that is there. I think there's some really subtle things with the camera work done here that Luke's done very effectively.
Well, wait, now that we have Blair here, he can answer an eternal question for us. How many Tricia Helfers are there actually? Because Battlestar, she was everywhere.
Well, they had to replace her about 3 times in this, so it's always falling off them. Always falling off them.
Before you leave us here, Adam, was what else would you like to talk about? Because I know you this movie hit home with you too, just like us. You really enjoyed it.
I think the biggest thing is the music. Luke's selection of music in this has not only caught the feel of the period, but for us that grew up, I think, particularly out here in Australia, Blair will know this really well. In the late 80s, we had, 1987, I think, was the first season of Tour of Duty came out. And with that on TV, it was always in the mornings and always in the evenings, they had the ads for Tour of Duty soundtrack volume 1. Wow. Then volume 2, then volume 3. And I've got at least 2 of the volumes here still on LP. And I tell you what, they're in heavy rotation a lot because the songs really bring you back to not only the series, but that late 80s thing of, like Michael Dudikoff, Platoon Leader, Platoon itself, Hamburger Hill, Full Metal Jacket. They all had these great songs. Creedence was the big one. And I think
Fortunate Son is probably, that's the one that they always play. Yeah.
As I have always said, as long as they continue to make Vietnam films, Creedence Clearwater Revival will get residuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming on. We couldn't have this without you. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts. And hopefully I'll see you in Australia back in March when I plan to visit again. So, yeah.
Excellent. And I think we'll even take Mr. Raider Nerd up to Tamborine Mountain and walk the jungle.
Yeah. We'll show him all the locations. Yeah.
Only if you promise the source. I'll be good. So, yeah. All right, brother. Well, it was good to see you, Adam. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, guys. We'll catch you next time.
See you later, mate.
See ya.
Well, Blair, and Kyle, I don't know if you had a question for Blair, but I did want to ask you about what it was like when you first saw it, because you got to see some stuff that we didn't on premieres and stuff like that. So tell us about that.
Yeah, we had the premiere down at same theatre that Adam went to see it. We had the cast and crew premiere down there, and that was pretty exciting. Always good to finally see the film finished. That was a good time. That was enjoyable. I was just absolutely amazed at the production value when I saw it. With the sound and everything was just incredible. The Dolby Atmos in this thing is just brilliant, and it's just going to be a home theater staple once it comes out. I can't wait to get a copy of it at home and put it through its paces, because you listen to the sound in movies, you enjoy the sound in movies. This movie, you really pay attention to it. The sound in the film, the music, special effects, the dinosaur noises, everything. It's just a character in itself. So that's what blew me away when I first really saw it. And you were just hit with a wave of just impact with the film. And having had some little bit of behind the scenes, seeing it, and that, to see what you saw and then how it came out, just next level. And then went to Sydney the day after, and we had the premiere down there at Hoyt's Extreme Screen.
I love Hoyt's Extreme Screen. I'm a big
my
fan
God.
Yeah, for the American listeners, Hoyt's is kind of like the AMC of Australia, and they have this extreme screen that you could pay a little extra for. And what I like about it too is, like when I would pay for that, they would have like a little complimentary small popcorn and drink waiting for you at your seat. The sound is fantastic in that theater.
Yeah. Kevin actually shouted me to the other dinosaur movie in Extreme Screen down in Melbourne. We were down there, and that was a good time.
Yeah,
that was fun. But it was brilliant to see in that situation too. However, that was still with people who had been involved in the film. So I hadn't got to see it with Man in the Street yet, which I think is always very important to see how that's reacted to, because of course if you know people, everybody's going to be pumped and excited for it. And so last weekend I went with 5 other guys from the Mando crew.
The boys, the Star Wars guys.
Kevin, when he came to visit, and
that's so the one we all went and saw. We hung out in your cave there and saw Solo.
That's right, we did. Watch Solo. So that was great to take them, and the theater that was 3/4 full, which was great. And to see the audience reaction of the general public was just so satisfying. It made you well up. It made you well up, actually, because to see the reaction of the film got. I haven't seen, forget that, I've had anything to do with it. I haven't seen a reaction to a movie like this for a long, long time. People are just loving it.
Kyle, you saw it in a full packed theater for Fathom events like I did, but mine wasn't packed, but yours was. Give me the feel of the vibe that you experienced.
So it was interesting because one of the things here, at least here in the United States, it's being distributed by Fathom events. And for those of you who may not ever attended a Fathom event screening, they do a lot of international films. I've seen several anime films through Fathom events here in the US. They are also famous for bringing out riff tracks and putting them onto big screens.
Or they'll bring out anniversary releases of films. Like I just recently saw the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1999 live action, when I was in Las Vegas at a Fathom event, and that was really cool.
And one of the interesting things, though, about Fathom events is it's something here in the U.S. And Blair, maybe you can verify if it's the same for you in Australia. I don't know. In the U.S., the viewers have gotten accustomed to, okay, they say the movie starts at 2:30, but we've got a half an hour of trailers and ads. Before it. However, with Fathom events, you don't get that. They go pretty much right into the film.
Into it.
Yep.
Okay.
So there was a lot of people in my showing, and it was a packed showing, but I'm watching people come in 10 minutes into the film. But afterwards, they're like, oh, dang, I got to go get tickets to see this again because I want to see what I missed. Because I had a guy come and sit down behind me. He's like, what have I missed? I said, well, you kind of missed this up to this point. He's like, oh, damn it, I got to go see it again now. But everybody, I mean, it was a packed theater. It was a pretty wide range of people in there too. There was some there's college students, there's adults, there's parents with their kids. I think they were expecting a little more Jurassic Park than they were realizing what this was, but they still had a good time. But everybody was engrossed in it. And I think that's the thing with this, with the film, is that it pulls you in and it engrosses you. And it's not, the dinosaurs actually do feel secondary because the acting and the chemistry between the actors is so amazing. I mean, I'm a huge Jeremy Piven fan from way back in like the PCU days and stuff.
PCU, like baby. Yeah.
So you had me there. You throw in Tricia Helfer, and then Ryan Kwanten, who I kind of knew from True Blood, but I wasn't a huge True Blood viewer. I thought he was phenomenal and just charismatic as all out in this. You had the sniper character, who, Kevin, I know you were very fascinated by. He was very cool. But it felt like a Vietnam film. It felt like a science fiction film. But every character I felt like got a chance to have a moment in this film, much like a Predator film. So you actually got to know them just a little bit, even if little pieces here and there. But there was something that made them memorable. So if something happened to them later in the film, it stuck with you. It wasn't just like, here's the red shirt that just got whacked because he went down with Kirk Spot and McCoy. But it was so well done. And I'm going to be honest with you, what I was really impressed with, because I know you guys had some budgetary recordings and stuff, but how well the effects held up in this film. I mean, obviously, I know you guys are fighting the Jurassic battle. But you guys did such a phenomenal job with it, and both in nighttime and daylight, and going with the look of raptors with the feathers, I thought was a brilliant choice too with that. But just everything about this film hit the mark, and everybody was talking so positive about it. And I think this is going to be one of those films, Blair, that is going to pick up more and more momentum. And I really think by the time it does come out on a physical media or digital media or whatever, it's really going to get that big cult following that like a lot of directing DVD movies and stuff got in the 90s and the 2000s.
I want to mention real quick that so the buzz for this has been very, very good. And I love that we're getting a lot of positive reviews about this. And even though I had a smaller group, I can tell that they enjoyed it. But you guys, you were touching on the effects. You could tell it's not Jurassic Park, $1 billion budget type stuff. But I got to tell you, what I loved about this film is that it passed a certain test that I have when it comes to CGI. And Kyle knows what I'm talking about. I am not a fan of when CGI turns to the dark lighting so they can cut back on background CGI settings and stuff like that. That's why I'm not a big fan of like all these dark movies where all the CGIs with rain and it's easy to cover up stuff. This movie, you could tell that it put a lot of heart and soul into the digital stuff, because you had some great daylight shots of the dinosaurs, some of them just grazing. And then when you saw the carnage, you saw it both at night and during the daytime. It was really exciting that it passed all that test for me. And then Kyle, you touched on it. The character development was fantastic in this. And I actually like to touch on like what characters stood out to you guys. I'm going to start first here. I'm going to start with this character here and remind me, is this Aaron Glenane as Logan Stove? Is that who this actor is, Blair?
Oh, I'm not sure, actually. I was trying to think of what his name was myself. I actually wasn't on set when he was there.
Okay. Well, this was a character I gravitated towards because he was really badass at his job. First of all, being a sniper, but you could tell that the mission was getting to him a little bit, and he was starting to kind of break down. But when it counted, he rose up and he decided to basically be a diversion to help his fellow crew member, his team live, while he died magnificently. Let me just put it this way, and very bloody. But he reminded me a little bit. This is where I was getting some Aliens vibes and input, and maybe an ode to falling in love with a character, and then maybe a character has some issues. Maybe they're falling apart at the seams a little bit, but then when it counted, they were able to be there for their teammate. He kind of reminded me of Hudson, Bill Paxton's character, to be honest with you. And I loved his turn in this film, and he was wonderful. Blair, what were some of your favorite character moments or characters in this movie?
Yeah, game over, man. Game over.
Yeah.
I love Keys, Anthony Ingrubia's character.
He was great.
I thought he was fantastic. You know, from the moment he showed up on screen in the hut, you know, when he had that great camaraderie with the other guys, and you saw the relationship that he had with the sniper guy there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they were like connected, and
he was like the spotter, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but he was his backbone. He was like the other half of him. He was like protecting him and helping him all the time and encouraging him, you know. And then, of course, he was like the supplier. You know, he brought in the chocolate, he brought in, and he just had a great character vibe from the outset. You know, and his journey was great. He had some great lines as well, and of course, you know, the heroic big moment that he has. I won't spoil it too much, but and also, my gosh, his acting of when he was attacked and stuff was just. Oh my gosh. You know, I mean, he was just there. You believed everything that Anthony put into the part. And I think he was, for me, was probably my favorite character out of the film. And Tricia as well. I enjoyed Tricia. I enjoyed her.
Tricia was a big surprise for me, especially with the chemical dependency that she was trying to fight.
Yes.
She was really good.
Yeah.
She was really good in that. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. It's a surprise because people are expecting, dinosaurs versus soldiers, B grade, 90 minutes top. I know a lot of people, and I've said it's over 2 hours. I'm like, what? They're not expecting that. But you do not notice the time whatsoever when you're watching the film. You know what I mean? You just invested the entire time, and they're acting in their characers.
That's a great point. This movie was well paced for a 2 hour and 10 minute film. I think it was. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yep.
Kyle, what was your? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Blair.
No, I mean, like any film, you look objectively at it, and you watch it a couple of times. You go, well, maybe you could have pruned a bit here or done a little bit there and stuff. But for the most part, it's lean. I know for 2 hours and 15 minutes, it's a lean movie. If that makes sense, because everything in there needs to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kyle, who's your favorite character in this movie?
Well, okay, let's start with who you have on the screen. Go back one, Kevin, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, I'm a huge Jeremy Piven fan. Anyway, Jeremy Piven is the actor who I truly believe, no matter how big of an a-hole his character is, the way he performs that character is like, I still want to hang out with this guy. This guy's going to be fun.
His full name in this movie is Colonel Amadeus Jericho. How cool is that?
So Piven is always great. Ryan Kwanten is phenomenal in this movie. And the thing about him is that he doesn't have that look of that traditional action hero team leader going on. But how he carries himself, how he cares about everybody in his unit and the importance of his unit to him, and the way he doesn't back down from any of his superiors was just brilliant in this film. And I'm with you. Keys was just awesome in this movie. From the minute he's introduced, when he's he's giving the rookie the hard time about what to choose, and you chose the wrong thing, and just everything with him and his relationship with the sniper Logan was very spot on, because that's the kind of relationship usually the spotter and the sniper have. That's their circle, and nobody's penetrating that. There's a special bond between those two that nobody else has. But just the closeness of this unit together, you could tell they had been on many missions together. They had each other's backs, and it really did feel kind of like that bond from Predator, that all those characters, that unit from Predator had. They've had a very same feeling from that. I was pulling very heavily from that. But I mean, just across the board, there was nobody who had a bad performance in this movie, except that one pterodactyl. I will say that there was that one pterodactyl. He just didn't want to fly in formation. But otherwise, I mean, and I've got a compliment on this too. Speaking of just the dinosaurs, though, you have the one raptor who's become kind of the famous raptor out of this movie, the one with gets end up with the knife stuck in his eye.
Yeah.
And yet,
Okay,
I
hold
think
on,
that
Kyle. Don't undersell this. This raptor is becoming the face of this film.
Mhm.
And I have up here on the screen of several reviews, and they're always picking the raptor that has the K-bar knife stuck in his eye from one of the characters, and it's still not dead yet.
It's Keyes' knife from when
Yeah.
he was initially attacked by this raptor, and they have made this raptor. I don't like doing the Jurassic Park comparison, but it's what's popping into mind. This is their version of Blue.
Right.
It's the standout raptor, and in this case, it's the not. Oh, I got a knife in my eye, raptor. But this raptor is evil in this film.
Evil Blue.
Yeah, and again, you add in the fact that you guys actually included the feathers and the more bird-like nature and look that what really did raptors in Jurassic Park. They talked about it, but they didn't play it upon as much. You in this film, they really played upon it very well, and I think it made the raptors that much more terrifying. But this one raptor in particular, this was like, yeah, I'm the alpha, I'm in charge, and it was almost like it ended up having a personal vendetta in a way. And I thought it was underscored well enough, but you can notice it, and it's made that stand out for this film. Yep.
Well, that's it. I mean, the idea of the feathers obviously comes from the book as well, and what we know now more about dinosaurs and how they were, it's a lot more accurate to what they think. But also, just from a CG point of view, I mean, feathers are not easy to do. You know?
That's
when Luke, we were talking one day, and Luke told me about the feathers. I thought, oh mate, I don't know how you're gonna pull this off, and pull it off. He did, and I was looking at it on extreme screen, right? And I'm thinking, going, if I've only got a few tiny little nitpicks on a screen this big, they're onto something here, because in a normal cinema and on television, you're really not going to notice anything that I had any nitpicks about.
Well, what's interesting is the reviews that are coming out. I want to touch on that because, Blair, we want to get to your extras work after we talk about this. But this movie's getting a lot of buzz. They've extended the screenings through Fathom and other theaters. We'll get into that too. But I pulled some stuff here. It says Jurassic Park is one of the greatest dinosaur movies ever made, but Primitive War just might be the second greatest. That was Slash Film. Primitive War is a great, and also too, another one said the same thing. Primitive War is the greatest non-Jurassic Park movie ever made. And on Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's at 89%. New Jurassic Park replacement, Primitive War debuts with thrilling Rotten Tomatoes audience score. But I've been seeing other reviews about how they're getting the dinosaurs right in this as well. And there's a lot of talk and a lot of buzz about that, which I think is really, really cool. And also, too, I wanted to mention that there was the Primitive War appearance at Comic-Con this last few weeks ago. And I was at Comic-Con, but unfortunately could not go to this panel because I had some commitments for volunteer work for the Hasbro booth with my G.I. Joe costume group. But they had a wonderful panel. There's a great interview with the full cast there. Did you get any feedback from Luke about how that went for him personally? It seems like it was very well received.
Yeah, I think what I was hearing was just the immense shock at how big the room is when they got there, and that oh gosh, are we going to be able to fill this? And then I think there was like 5,000 people I heard in the room, and just incredible in the reaction that they got. And I think that was for Luke. I think that was the thing that really got everything going. That was the big moment, and then you had the release of the trailer in that, and I think after that he started breathing a little bit easier, from what I understood. But just an amazing reaction, and the reactions from people after they'd seen the trailer was just fantastic. I thought, he's on his way now. So
Kyle, before we get into Blair's behind the scenes and doing some extras work, what have you been seeing on social media about Primitive War?
Just incredible positive buzz all the way around.
Same here.
I'm gonna be honest. I think this movie's caught a lot of people by surprise. I think again, Fathom Events is not known for hitting on the A-list films, so I don't know if a lot of people knew what to expect, and I think they've been amazingly pleasantly surprised in this. you know, as we start seeing the hot chase figure from the Rare Primitive War toy line up on the screen.
Yeah, if you're watching the YouTube here, Blair sent me a picture of an AI of what his Jerzy Bolowski character, which he is in the credits of this film credit after, is it looks like is that your Russian character there?
It is. That's my very naughty Russian scientist. Yes, doing naughty collider experiments. Mm-hmm.
I believe if I just got a message from the Academy that for hands up sequences you are nominated.
Let's talk about this, Blair. You are obvious on the set. You were extras in some of the battle scenes and stuff, but you are clearly seen at the end of this film inside the Russian compound here as one of the Russian scientists who probably pushed the wrong button and got too many dinosaurs through the portal. Do us a favor and please indulge us with your time as on the set, and how were you approached to do this?
Well, just probably through my friendship with Luke, I suppose, because he was keeping me informed basically through the entire production process about what was happening, what he was thinking about doing, and I remember I was on a cruise about March last year, and I got a message on the boat just saying I'm doing it. I said, "What's that?" He goes, "Primitive War, we're doing it." And I went, "Oh my gosh!" So when are we filming? 3 weeks. So what? And this everything with Luke is just like a snowball, and he makes it happen. It just comes together, and it just always amazes me. But anyway, he was filming for a bit, and basically said, "Oh, you want to come down?" And he wanted some extras for the Marines for the beginning of the part, and so I did a day there, and then we filmed the battle sequence out at just actually only about 15 minutes from where I live.
Which battle sequence are you referring to?
Oh, sorry, the end when the Russian base, right? The rampaging T-Rexes and all that sort of thing was actually filmed at Fort Lytton, which is an actual fort that's only about 15 minutes from where I live.
Nice.
And that was a full night there till about that 4 a.m. and that's where we had the battle sequences, and I actually played a different character in that. I was one of the soldiers, and ran around pretending to be screaming at dinosaurs, and that's it. And so that was a good fun night, and I did make a couple of frames in that sequence, so it's one of those freeze frame moments. You might miss me, but it was just great to do that, be like kids running around playing army, and that was good fun. But then a couple of days later, Luke contacted me and he said, "Oh, do you want to come down and be a Russian scientist on the set?" Now this was actually filmed at Luke's studio down the Gold Coast, and they we were all sitting outside as the extras getting dressed and to go in for the show, and then we got escorted into the set, and this set was just amazing. This Russian base control center was just absolutely next level. It was all in Luke's studio. They built this entire thing. So you walk down the tunnels. We're in the film where the raptors come down the tunnels. You're walking down there.
It's an impressive set. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real set.
Yeah.
And I was amazed. I was going up and touching the walls. It looked that good. Going, no, this isn't concrete, but I had to touch it to see that it wasn't. That's how good it was. So that was fun. So then they said, "Oh well, basically make it up as you go, play a scientist and do scientific things." And so that's where it went. And then we had the whole sequence with Vulture Squad coming in there at the end, and I think Ryan yells out, "Come on, who wants to die?" or something. And so we had to do the old the hands up acting trick.
Kyle, do you think Blair's character survived at the end? I don't think he did.
I did. Sorry, Kyle. Yeah, they escorted me off, so I assume I'm alive.
Well, there might be sequels, so who knows? But I did hear a rumor though that really, in truth, only the T-Rexes were more of a problem with ego on set than Blair. Those trailer demands were high.
Yeah. Well, what was the highlight for me was Tricia. She came up to me and basically told me where to go in Russian with a gun to my head. I thought, yep, that's made my night. That's good.
So basically, a Cylon 6 got to be in a scene with you. That's pretty cool. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's lovely. She's a lovely woman. Yeah, very nice.
I remember I hit you up before I saw it. I'm like, can you give me any idea of where you are so I won't miss you? And you were kind of coy about it. You're like, yeah, I'm about this far in. I'll be easier to spot. But dude, you were really easy to spot. I just want to say.
No. What was it when you texted him and he was on the red carpet, and I believe the name Edward James almost dropped. Am I remembering that correctly?
The what? Sorry.
The night of the premiere, when you were on the red carpet, I believe Kevin may have texted you or something, and you were hanging out with some other Battlestar friends of Tricia's.
Oh, okay. No, that wasn't. No, it wasn't me.
Oh,
in the US premiere, Edward James Olmos came.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why maybe I misread that.
Yeah. So I said to Luke, you got to get a Battlestar shot with the two of them. Mad if you didn't, because obviously Edward is a good friend of Tricia's too, so he came to support, which was lovely, and so it was good to see him there at the US premiere.
Well, this movie wonderfully has been extended. Fathom has extended their screenings, huge news. So obviously, this movie is getting good reviews. It's getting great feedback from those that have seen it. Seem to be enjoying it. So we have August 25th through September 4th here, and AMC theaters, a list of AMC theaters, Cinemark theaters, Century and Reading, and other various theaters around the United States here. Kyle, this movie's getting a big buzz right now. We're very excited and happy for them.
I am ecstatic for all of you that were involved in this film, and I'm so glad that you are allowing us to share in it. I love this film, and as I said earlier, I truly believe at the rate this film is going, this is going to be one of those films that is going to grow by word of mouth and really find its place. And if the opportunity comes for a sequel, I could see you guys being straight to more of a theater here in the United States and not just working through Fathom events. And I think you guys have found something really special here, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go from here for you guys. And, we know your character survived, Blair. We already know you're lined up for the sequel. In fact, you're the guy who plugs the collider back in, aren't you? I mean, that's
well, we were a friend of mine, Talon, who's the armorer on the film. We were joking about it the other day, and I said, we can do Primitive War 2 Jertsy's Revenge, It's definitely be on the cards.
It's really interesting to see the you teasing the behind the scenes stuff before we saw the film. I remember when you and I were hanging out and you were really excited to talk about it, and just your fondness for hanging out with Luke and just being part of the whole thing, but being able to kind of see it all come to fruition and being a really fun movie in so many aspects. I'm really proud of you, and really proud of Luke for what he's done, because with all the hats that Luke has been wearing when he's been doing this, it's amazing, and the hard work that he's put into this. I hope he feels that it feels like it's paid off.
Yeah, I mean, it's been basically 2 years, and he'll tell you when he's on the show, it's been 2 years of his life, and I'd message him or something, and he's always in the edit suite, always tweaking and stuff. I was fortunate enough to spend an afternoon with him in the edit suite one day, and he showed me a few, and it was funny because the first trailer hadn't been released yet, but it was done, and I was down there, and he said, "You want to see the trailer?" I said, "Oh, no, yeah, of course, I got to want to see it." yeah. So he took me in the edit suite and showed me the trailer, and that was just like, wow. And that first trailer was really, really good. And then it was like, want to see a bit more?
Okay, so I got to ask you the question though, and knowing you've been in the film, how did you know if your scene was going to be cut or not, and when? Did he let you know, or did he say for sure you're going to be in it, or I don't know? I mean, where did that conversation go?
Well, I was about to say that same day in the edit suite, he showed me my part. He said, "Yeah, made the cut." So I was
nice, very nice.
I didn't have to wait to see the film to know if I made it or not. So
that's very cool.
I can confidently go and tell people that I'm in the film. So.
It just goes to show you it's all about the people you know.
Yeah. Luke seems like a good guy. We're excited about scheduling with him.
He's fantastic. He goes out of his way. And the thing is, the beauty about Luke is he's one of us. He's a fan.
Yeah.
He mad on Star Wars, loves all the genre films, Jurassic Park, all that sort of thing, and loves to just chat. I mean, he'll talk Star Wars for hours, and
I can't wait to try to do that with him.
And he's always got time. Always seems to have time. For me, it never seems like, oh, you're wasting my time, or I'm too busy, or whatever like that. He's always got the time to talk, and which I really, really appreciate with him.
That's great. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, first of all, Blair, thank you so much for coming on this episode of Culture Clash. And we know we're going to see you again to talk more Primitive War very soon, but it's great to hear these stories and get your experience. And just, again, a fantastic film. If you have not seen Primitive War yet, please, it's got this extended run in the United States and across the globe. Go see this film. Support this film. This film is worth it. I promise you will have a wonderful time at this movie.
Yeah,
and you will be fully engrossed, and you'll be like going, when are we getting the sequel? That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
When are we getting the sequel?
I'm buying it on digital. I'm buying it on physical media. I can't wait.
You sold Kevin if he's buying it on digital. So
I said I'm expecting a 4K steelbook, with all the trimmings. We've got to have it. It's got to happen.
Yeah.
Well, again, Blair, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Culture Clash here on the Fandom Podcast Network YouTube channel. If you've been watching us live, thank you so much. And of course, we will be putting out an audio version of this, and we will be back with another Primitive War special very soon. We just got to get some schedules and flight plans worked out, but we are looking very forward to talking to Luke and just enjoying this great film with him and having you back as well, Blair. But you know what? This is the Fandom Podcast Network, and we can be found all over social media, whether it's Blue Sky, Twitter, or if you want to call it X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Discord. We are everywhere at FanPod Network. Kevin, where can people find you on the socials these days?
On all the socials, you can find me at Spartan_Phoenix, and on Blue Sky at Spartan Phoenix.
And Blair, where can people find you, touch base with you? Now that you've got your acting chops in, I've got a feeling you're going to be in high demand. Villain roles are always necessary.
Oh yeah, the old mustache twirling, going on. I'm on Instagram, Blair at Movie Hug, also on Movie Hug on Facebook, and Rebel Rousers on Facebook as well. You can catch me.
And just out of curiosity, is any good social media places people can go find for Primitive War?
The official Primitive War page, and
they're on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I believe, and so is Luke. Luke's on those as well. So yeah.
Yep.
Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us for this very special episode of Culture Clash Live. It's been an absolute pleasure talking about this amazing film. Kevin, are you going to try to go stick a net raptor in the eye, or are you going to just be smart and stay away?
No, I've got my own critters in the backyard. They're a lot safer than those things. But I let me just tell you this. I'm really excited about rewatching this again. If I can see it in the theater again, I'll try. If not, I will definitely get it when it hits digital and obviously physical media. I can't wait to see it again. And Blair, I'm proud of you, man. It was so great seeing you 50 feet tall in the theater, man. It was great.
Very scary proposition. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
I don't know what was bigger and what was scarier, Blair or the T-Rex. I'm just saying. It's the Russian accent versus the teeth, and it's close. I'm just putting that out there. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. And to scan that QR code up on the screen if you want to know a little bit more about the Fandom Podcast Network. It'll take you to our master feed of all of our great audio podcasts. We got a lot of fun stuff going on there. Of course, just a reminder to our good friend Adam O'Brien. He is the Lethal Mullet. And in fact, the latest Lethal Mullet, I joined him as we talked about a Disney classic, The Black Hole. So go check that out on the Fandom Podcast Network feed as well. But guys, it's been an honor to talk about this amazing movie, Primitive War. It's been great to have you here, Blair. It's great to see you. I haven't talked to you in forever, so it's been great.
Yeah, it's been a while
to catch up with you.
Yeah.
I share a brain with the other guy, so I'm thinking that he must be thinking about dinosaurs because I'm thinking about dinosaurs, or it could be just the fact it was an absolutely wonderful movie. But guys, we have done this thing, and just remember, as always, respect each other, and most importantly, especially your Primitive War fandom, enjoy your fandom, ladies and gentlemen. We've done this thing, and we are out of here.